Joining me now is Congressman Brad Wenstrup, chair of the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic. Congressman, I want to get back to this blockbuster story about the CIA whistleblower, where he's saying he or she is saying that the agency allegedly paid off a team that was investigating the origins of COVID, and that whistleblower, who's described as a multi-decade senior-level current agency officer, came to you. What more can you tell us about these allegations, sir?
Well, everything you just said is correct. The whistleblower did come to us, actually came to the Intelligence Committee, which I serve on, and also came to the Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, and reaching out with allegations of a disturbing story that allegedly took place within the CIA. So everyone was looking to try and find out what are the origins of COVID, and President Biden tasked the intelligence agencies to do their own assessment. And on the CIA side, they put together a COVID discovery team that included 7 people supposedly with science backgrounds. And 6 of the 7 felt what they have learned led them to believe that COVID originated in a lab. 1 of the 7, who happened to be the senior person, felt that it came from nature. But somehow through this process, even though it was 6-1, they came forward and said they were unable to determine this. And what the whistleblower is alleging is that there was a monetary involvement with the decision to change their mind and go with unable to determine, rather than giving their level of confidence that it came from the lab. This is very disturbing, obviously, and our committee has jurisdiction over these types of things, all things COVID, and we're looking into it. We are asking for documents, and we are asking for the communications and talking to the people that the whistleblower is telling us we should engage with.
Well, the CIA responded to your claims from your whistleblower, saying in part that we're committed to the highest standards of analytic rigor, integrity, objectivity. We do not pay analysts to reach specific conclusions. Congressman, if this is true, a crime very likely was committed here. Yes. If this is true.
Yeah, if it's true, it would seem that way. It's our obligation when whistleblowers come forward to investigate. The CIA, I believe, is taking this very serious. They do not like that this has come out in any way, shape, or form. And I have a good relationship, being on Intelligence Committee, with this particular director of the CIA, Director Burns, and I do not know to what level this situation arose. So we're going to look into that, obviously, and hopefully we get full cooperation from the CIA and get to the bottom of this. But you know, when a whistleblower comes in, they're guaranteed some protections, but they also are under the threat of perjury when they come forward and speak. And this witness seems to be credible, so we have to follow all leads on that, and we will.
Is the whistleblower going to testify on Capitol Hill, either behind closed doors or publicly?
At this point, the whistleblower wants to be anonymous. That doesn't mean that they can't come in and testify behind closed doors. And we saw that with the IRS whistleblowers. That's how it all started. They spoke behind closed doors. One of them was choosing to be anonymous, but then ultimately came forward and said who he was and came forward and testified in front of Congress.
Is there any indication that other whistleblowers or other staffers or former staffers may now be encouraged to also speak out about what they saw, or perhaps, Congressman, intimidation or pressure that was brought to bear on analysts looking at the origins of COVID?
We are reaching out to the former chief operating officer of the CIA, who hopefully will voluntarily come in and give us some insights on how this process was working and what we need to know. Hopefully we'll get those answers.
Well, Congressman, we know for a fact that Anthony Fauci pressured his buddies to write that letter, essentially concluding that it was very unlikely that the virus would have originated in a lab, and that it was most likely coming from an outside source like, a meat market or occurring in nature. So that was already something that we have discussed at length on The Angle, yes. And it's been everywhere. So that's kind of the backdrop of this, and along with China's covering up the information from day one, correct?
Yeah, and the big question in all this, why are you doing this? What difference does it make to you, the CIA, as to whether you think it came from the lab or nature, that you would try to influence it in one way or another? Same question for Dr. Fauci. Why is it that you sat amongst your peers in the science world and gave every indication that this may really have come from the lab, so many indications as to why, and then you go out and write an article claiming that it came from nature, going on the White House lawn saying these scientists said it came from nature, when on their internal documents they're saying it really looks engineered and looks like it came from a lab.
Yeah, well, Congressman, maybe you should head over to Georgetown where you can find Dr. Fauci, because he was given a prestigious post over there. So maybe just walk over there and get him off campus. Congressman, thank you.